Not quite.
Oh, give him what?
Let's do a little, Dylan's probably looking for him, so. We're good.
Introductory press conference for new head volleyball coach Austin Albers. Austin, first of all, congratulations and welcome to the Maverick family. What have the first couple of days been like for you here in Grand Junction?
Yeah, thank you. Excited to be here. Oh, you want me to grab it? Yeah. Thank you. I'm excited to be here. It's been kind of like jumping onto a treadmill that's running full speed already. So just trying to make sure I hold on tight and don't fall off, and just trying to get things organized and ready to go. We just finished our first practices here for it, and so it's good. The girls have good energy. I think they're open to the way that we're going to be doing things and switching some things up, and I've just loved the juice and the energy that we've had this first day.
You're new to CMU, but not new to the conference, having that experience at CSU Pueblo and that success over the years. What can you kind of take from that that transfers over well here to Colorado Mesa?
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly knowledge of the conference, what it takes to win in this league. CMU has the setup, the history, the resources, the things that we need to continue to be successful. So I'm really excited to take that over. Dave did an awesome job here and has set us up for success, and we plan to continue that. Obviously, having the knowledge of the league inside and out slows my treadmill down just a little bit, and so it gives me an opportunity to be able to focus more on the team and the things that we're doing internally, rather than try to figure out what it takes, to win in this league and those types of things. We have a pretty good grasp on that.
You kind of hit on it a little bit there, but are there certain things about the job or the position that really intrigued you and kind of made this the place for you?
Yeah. I think one of the biggest things was just the opportunity to raise my family in Grand Junction. I have 2 young kids, and we were looking for a spot that, we could put some roots down, be successful, really establish, continued success in a program, and have a place where we're not bouncing them around a whole bunch while they grow up. And so that was one big thing. And then the second thing was just the structure and the things in place that you need to be successful. This is the first time taking over a winning program. Usually you're taking over programs that have been struggling, and it's trying to revamp and do a little bit less with more. And so I'm excited to see what we can do here with the support, the resources, and the great people surrounding us.
Yeah, Austin, I'm Patty Arnold with Sports Information. You kind of just touched on it. At CSU Pueblo, you came into a team that needed some help, and you really got them going again. How different is it taking over a team that is successful and as head coaches? Maybe you're the 4th coach in 40 some odd years.
Yeah.
And just, it's totally different than, like you said, things that normally you look at.
Yeah. It's a different atmosphere in terms of moving the needle. When you take over a program that's struggling, moving the needle is pretty easy. Here we're looking for minimal gains. With that said, there were, I think 7 starters that either graduated or left from last year. And so it is starting over with a new group that's fresh, that hasn't necessarily seen a ton of court time. And so a lot of it is, there are also a lot of similarities because it's new. We're going to put the things in place that are true to my values in that. And we had a good team meeting last night, and I just said, change is going to be change. It's not necessarily going to be better or worse. It's just going to be different. And so the fun part is just getting that buy-in and getting through those initial phases to see who fits that system, who fits with what we want to do, and who's ready to step up and lead this team.
I was going to ask, is it every coach has their system and you go with that, but then you also have to realize what you have to work with and who all has been signed early, and I'm guessing there's still a little recruiting to be done. So how is your head exploding yet? Or
sometimes it feels like it, but that's why we coaches are a little bit crazy. We sign up for this and we enjoy it. My big thing is just being able to really sink my feet in here, get a grasp on it. My family's not out here right now, so I can work till midnight, 2 a.m. if I need to, and just put the time in over these next couple months to really get things going. But yeah, first off, when I took the job, it was early calls to these girls that are on the team now, early calls to the commits, and got out that weekend within 2 days and went and watched some of them play. And and then working through transfer recruiting and finding pieces to add to the puzzle that will help us be successful in the fall.
Yeah, you said you met with the players last night, and nobody expected a coaching change, and I'm sure they're still kind of reeling and kind of wondering. Did you talk to some of them during the hiring process and all that, and kind of get a feel for how they're going to adapt?
Yes. So during the hiring process, during my on-campus interview, I got an opportunity to interact with the team. There was a meeting for about 45 minutes where we did a Q&A, and they got to open things up and just kind of ask questions. And I think that's really important when the student athletes can be involved and have a say. I think it's really good look on the administration when they allow that to happen in the hiring committee, because it means that they value the student athlete's opinion, and that part is important, because at the end of the day, they're the ones that are going to have to deal with me every single day for 2 hours or more a day. On those long road trips and things, you want them to have that buy-in of who's coming in to run the program, because there are going to be some changes and differences and those types of things. We'll continue to ride the coattails of the success and continue to work to build it bigger. But them being able to see themselves playing for me through that process is impactful and valuable.
James Berkey from the Daily Sentinel paper. So, you're very familiar with this program. How does it feel to kind of be on the other side of it after all those matchups with them?
No, it's great. We've had a lot of battles, a lot of 5-setters. Bree and I were talking the other day, and she goes, "I don't remember that game," and I said, "It went 5. They always do." So we've had a lot of good battles with Mesa. It's a good rivalry. I think a lot of mutual respect between Dave and myself. He's done a tremendous job getting this program to where it is, and we were working to try to chase them. They were one of the teams on the dartboard that we were trying to chase every year. And so being able to come in here and flip over to the west side of the mountain is great. Now it's an opportunity to continue to capitalize on that and use the brand that is Mesa Volleyball to continue to attract top caliber student athletes and people, and start to put our own spin on the culture, the traditions, and all of those types of things to just continue to build it.
So what does Mesa Volleyball do that you don't really see at other D2 schools or even other RMAC schools?
Yeah, I think system-wise, they ran some things in the past. Just everything's really very fast. And then they've been able to do a really good job of pulling top Colorado athletes. And so I think the recruiting base is good. One of the things that just initially has been shocking for me, and coming from Pueblo, we fight the recruiting battle just to get them down there. Just even taking this job, I went to Kansas City and recruited that first weekend and had people walk up to me on the street and said, "Hey, are you the new Mesa guy? Oh yeah, we've got some players we'd like to send your way." And so it's just a little bit easier to, people think highly of the program. And so being able to get that initial foot in the door with the type of prospects that we need, I think is going to allow us to continue to recruit at a high level and continue to feed the monster and just build this program to where it can continue to win and be successful and, hopefully make a deep national tournament run here in the future.
Sure. And then I'm also curious, so what's unique about your style of play, about what you believe can be winning volleyball that you're going to be bringing here?
Yeah, I think we're going to be really technical in our training. We're going to make sure that we're developing our athletes. I would say that the thing that I do well, that's not even necessarily systems related, is going to be culture building and then recruiting. Having been at a place like a CSU Pueblo, you have to be able to spin some things and recruit your tail off to be able to get the talent that you need to be able to compete in this league. And so here, with a better product to sell, a better historical success, those types of things, now I think we're going to be able to capitalize and do a good job of recruiting and doing some of those things. I think that's a strength of mine. And then I think the other thing is like systems wise, it's as long as you have the athletes and you have a team that really gets along, it seems to take care of itself. We can tweak the system a little bit from where it was. We can, as long as we're not running backwards or doing something just totally out of the norm, I think we're going to have volleyball success. It's just a matter of, especially with these female athletes, if you have a strong culture, strong buy-in, strong team connection, and they really fight hard for each other, I told the team last night, I've never had a team where the culture's been really strong underperform their physical abilities. It's those teams where the culture is fractured and you might have some of those issues and those types of things that you get to the end of the season and you look and you go, we just didn't do as much as I think we should have. And so we'll spend a lot of time behind the scenes building some of that stuff, just as much as we will focusing on the volleyball part of it.
And then my last question is, you brought it up there. You brought it up before today. What does it take to win in the RMAC?
Yeah. You have to have great athletes and you have to be able to play fast. I mean, that's the reality. There are very few teams that are, Metro is one of those teams that's really big and physical. But you look at the teams that have been able to knock them off. Pueblo a couple years ago when we ended their 46 match win streak. Mesa this last year when they were the number 1 seed and Mesa knocked them off. And even Angelo State, who was a team full of 5'10" girls going up against a bunch of 6'4" girls. It's speed. Speed is going to win and give you the opportunity to do that. And so we're going to continue to work on keeping a fast-paced, tempoed offense. That's something that I thought they've done a really good job of here. We'll tweak some things and sure it'll be different, but at the end of the day, it's 3 contacts, hit the ball over the net and in bounds, and do it more than they do, and we'll find success.
Coach Dean Allen, the CMU Criterion, the campus paper here. You talk about building a culture. What does your culture really look like down to the bare bones of it?
Yeah, we have 4 team pillars that we really talk about. The first one is put the team first, right? Sacrificing your own agenda for what's best for the team. We talked about it last night. When the team is successful, we all eat, right? You look at the RMAC awards. We talked about it in our meeting. You look at the RMAC awards and it goes to the teams that win, not necessarily always just the best, flashiest players in the conference. And so we want to make sure that the team is our main focus. Our second one is everything matters, right? And so we talk about being the gold standard on campus, whether that's in academics, volunteerism, community outreach, camp engagement, whatever we're doing, we want to do it at an elite level. And that's hard. We talked about that with the team. It's hard to be turned on and switched on to 100% all the time. But those are the teams that find success because they get into the game and then it's just play and they can relax and enjoy their time together. Our third one is no complaining rule. It's based off of a book. And basically what it is we want to bring an attitude of gratitude, right? We don't want to be constantly, we talked about it in the meeting. We all had that teammate that's the little dark cloud that follows us around, and you go outside and it's 75 and oh no, it's too hot, I'm sweating, just enjoy the sunshine. Sometimes it's good just to be grateful, have a get to attitude instead of a have to attitude, and bringing that with us every day. And so those are some of the big culture pillars that we have in making sure that we are, and we'll dive into it more. I think we'll talk a little bit more about student athlete empowerment, how to empower your teammates versus just support them. And we're going to dive into culture meetings and those types of things where we get into the real specifics and spend time on it. But those are some of, our few pillars that we talk about with our team.
And also with a few Maverick greats that have left this last year, do you feel extra pressure on you, be it on the recruiting trail or even with the players you have now, to try to develop them back into that, I almost want to say, temple of a player?
Yes. I get one shot at a first impression. I talked about this with the team, and it's my job to build a championship caliber team as quickly as possible. And I realized that we had a mass departure of a lot of the players that were a big part of that. There are still some here, and we're going to build off of that. And then we're going to take the athletes that were in the gym with them and develop the heck out of them so that they can contribute. But in terms of recruiting, we've got some work to do as well. We've been working hard to bring in some transfers. We've already announced 2 of those, and we'll continue to announce those over the next couple of weeks. But for us, like I said, my job is to build a championship caliber program as soon as possible. And the player's job is to be able to contribute in that caliber of a program as soon as possible. So yes, we're working on it, but yes, there is some pressure. I don't take it lightly, but I told the team one of my big focuses for myself is to not allow that pressure to change how I do things. I've built programs before, we've found some success. And so I don't want to allow that pressure to dictate me running a program outside of my values. We're going to stick to the values and do things the right way rather than the fast way, because we want long-term success rather than, I'm not going to sell my soul for wins right away.
Then last question for you, with a few of those transfers you already announced, what made you still want them over here in Grand Junction, despite the fact, like you said, there's a bit of an improved recruiting reach out here?
Amazing people, first and foremost. I want to bring in people that have been through it, that have contributed at a high level. But every time I text the team and say, hey, we're announcing a recruit today, I kind of list off some of their awards and things. But most importantly, all of them are great students, 3.6 GPAs and above. All of them are all RMAC, all academic people, and all of them are amazing people that can contribute on the volleyball floor, but they're the type of people that fit the culture and are going to be able to kind of help pull the rest of this team along and help them understand how I do things so that we can all assimilate more quickly.
Thanks, Austin. We always wrap up with question of the week, kind of an off-topic thing to kind
Awesome.
of show the personality a little bit. So this week's question of the week is a obscure food or kind of rare food that you may have had, and a little bit of backstory of about that experience.
Oof, okay. I would say it's not that obscure, but the first time I tried gator was in Florida. I had a buddy. He now works for the Vikings, but he did his GA for the sports info department down at University of Florida. And so we went down and visited him for a week, and that was my first chance at gator. So I got to eat it right out of the swamp, and it was awesome. It was great. Every time I see it on a menu, it's hard for me to turn down now.
Does it taste like chicken?
A little bit more fishy, but it's pretty gosh darn close to chicken.
Thank you again. Congratulations and welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.